Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku back here again with another raid video. I got a hair on my hat or something. But hope you guys have all been doing great. I went to the Lowe's today, which is like a hardware store here in Kentucky. They're probably all over the US, but I don't know about other places of the world. But picked up some drywall, picked up all my tools and equipment for that. So tomorrow I'm gonna be taking the dive into drywall. Never done it before. Little spots to replace like I mentioned in my previous video, but hey, it's going to be exciting. Now, before we get into this too much, I do want to mention that this Sunday, probably around about 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, I do plan to be live on twitch.tv/Tyrauku. I'll post it on Discord before I go live, so if you guys aren't already in there, definitely join. I'll leave both those links down below, but it should be a plat push. We'll do some gym giveaways. It's gonna be a fun stream, do some account helps, and maybe show you guys my haircut. I literally buzzed it all off, so maybe we take the hat off on stream, but don't make fun of me, all right? Don't make fun of me on the stream. Either way, let's go ahead and get into this, all right? So today, what I want to show is basically a little bit deeper dive into Doomscreech, which was a champion I talked about in my Undead video yesterday. But I want to talk about Doomscreech, but I also want to move a little bit past that and talk about like the overall idea of doing this kind of build. So lately, well, let's go ahead and talk about him first, okay? So this honestly right here is why he's so interesting. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, so it's a turn meter boost, plus places 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Honestly, the books don't really matter. Mine's level 40, 4-star, I think, fully ascended. If you fully ascend him and get him to 6-star, he may get a speed boost. Let's see. So his base speed right now is 95. That's with 6-star fully ascended. Let's go in here and see what mine currently is sitting at. So 95 base speed once he's fully maxed out. And mine right now is currently sitting at a base speed of 95. Okay, so he doesn't get any benefits from being fully maxed out as far as that speed. Mine currently has none of the masteries done. Nothing. It's really just a minimal investment. Basically, Doomscreech, Siphi, not really going to talk too much about her. Tarshan, I believe, are the only 3 turn meter boost plus increased defense champions, okay? So the reason why this is so important is because, let me go ahead and show you guys Tarshan. This opens up the realm of possibilities for you to make a defense-based nuke champion for the arena, okay? Today, I'm gonna be showing you guys a few different matches with Shieldguard, but there's so many different defense-based champions you can use. Like I said, Tarshan, increased defense, 60%, fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. Now, you can use these champions with Arbiter. If you do have Arbiter, she'll give you the 30% speed aura plus the increased defense. Well, no, she'll give you the increased attack, but then having Tarshan, Doomscreech, Siphi even going after Arbiter will give you an additional turn meter boost plus that increased defense for your defense-based nukers, just depending on which kind of champions you have. Now, I pulled up a list of a few different champions who also are free champions to get. This was actually a list I was looking for, and let's go ahead and close out some of those tabs, and let's see, okay? So, Drexstar Blood Twin here. Very good champion, free champion. You get him from the bazaar. Once you get enough of your tokens, you'll have him, no problem. Hopefully that background music wasn't just now playing. Either way, let's go down here and see. 5.2 defense multiplier on his A2 ability, which is an AoE ability. So Drexstar, very good option for a nuke champion for the arena. Granted, he is force affinity, so when you're going against Duchesses, he's going to struggle. Seal of the Drakes is a 2-hitter, 1.55 defense multiplier. Not amazing. I mean, it's strong. It says right here, overall grading is strong. She does hit pretty hard. She can be a decent option if you don't have anything else. I mean, she is a free champion as well. Visix, another free champion, a little bit higher multipliers than Seal of the Drakes. Granted, Seal of the Drakes is a 2-hitter. So I guess that would be like essentially like a 3.0 multiplier, somewhere around there. Either way, Visix is going to hit a little bit harder. 2 AoE abilities, both with decent multipliers, right? So Visix is a good option, but Shieldguard is the one I'm talking about today, okay? Now, this is going to work. Obviously, you can build this exact team that I'm working on today if you're very early in the game. All you need is Tarshan or Doomscreech. Doomscreech is going to be the example I give today. He's probably a little bit easier to get. Granted, he is a Void champion, so it may be a little bit more difficult in that sense, depending on how many Void shards you have, but he's not an epic champion. Okay, making sure there was no audio playing from there. I don't got my headphones in, so I couldn't hear that. Either way, let's go ahead and put it to the side, but those are some options, okay? Now, I use Solus and for my defense-based snooker, but you have those other options you can use as well. I'm gonna show you guys my team build. Right here, I have Deacon. I have Tyrell doing absolutely nothing here. We're gonna use Madam Saris instead, just to give us that strip, that decreased defense in case Deacon doesn't actually place it. So let's go ahead and put Madam Saris in here. And then we'll do a few matches and I'll talk a little bit more why this is so valuable, okay? Why having a increased defense champion with a defense-based nuker is so good and why you should work on having that for your account in general, okay? Whether you're early game, mid game, late game, and it's a strategy that I've really shifted towards pretty heavily recently. Now, this isn't great, but actually, Shieldguard has one interesting ability, okay? Once it comes to his turn, he actually removes one debuff from himself, okay? Unfortunately, didn't do a ton just now. Honestly, I think I'm going to drop Deacon, throw in my Lysandra, because this is going to still be a speed match, okay? You still have to go fast. You still have to win the speed match. If you don't win the speed matchup, then you're just going to be behind either way, okay? Obviously, speed tuning, same thing. Very important in all these kinds of matches, okay? My Lysandra is currently 314. My Deacon was like maybe 300, okay? So he's not wearing my best speed gear. Lysandra's going there. Okay, now we're getting a more turn meter boost here from Doomscreech. I'm almost going to say Seeker. I got to remember Doomscreech. So we'll go ahead and do this. Let me make sure the video is still going good. All right. So Shieldguard, if he had a provoke on him from Seeker, he's actually going to use his passive ability, which removes one debuff from this champion each turn. Now, I made a video on Shieldguard a while back. He's such a good champion. I'll actually post a link to that video up above if you guys are interested in checking that out. Basically, solo Minotaur farming. It's a good video. You should check that out. But this ability, I didn't even talk about it then. Removing one random debuff, removes one debuff from this champion each turn. So good, especially if he's getting provoked, if he's getting frozen by Torments. Definitely a very solid option. But let's use his A2 ability. We have two Magic Affinity champions here. They're going to be probably weak hits, but let's see how much damage. 52,000 damage, okay? So pretty decent. Now, he's going to get the turn meter boost as well, I believe, when he kills somebody. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But let me go show you guys what kind of gear he has on. He's not wearing Savage gear. His stats are pretty decent. Nothing like absolutely insane, but his stats are pretty decent. I think 260 crit damage, 3,900 defense. I'll give you guys a quick overview. No cruel gear, no savage gear. I think he has War Master masteries actually, because when I was using him, like I said, it was for Minotaur farming. So I don't think he has Helm Smasher. Okay, so he has Flawless Execution, okay? So I'd probably go Helm Smasher, especially with these stats, but this is what he's looking like. Not bad, definitely not bad, but remember, okay, this is in fairly higher gold 4. These teams are a little bit more difficult, and you can always switch Shieldguard out for one of those other defense-based nukers. If you have a Solus, if you have Drexstar, if you have Sylve the Drakes possibly, okay? There's a lot of other defense-based AoE nukers. Well, I say a lot. There's nowhere near as many when you compare it to attack-based nukers, but there's some viable options who are free options as well that you can use as your defense-based AoE nuker, okay? Let's go ahead and refresh this again, see if I can find a few more teams. Going against an Arbiter, this may be a little bit sketchy. Like I said, my team's not super fast, okay? So we may lose some of these speed battles, but if we don't, I do think Shieldguard's going to do very good as far as just running right through these teams. And then after this, let me show you guys. See, I mean, 39,000 damage. That's definitely some pretty solid damage. And this team, other than Lysandra can literally be swapped out for Haikatoon. She can be swapped out for Deacon. She can be swapped out for Arbiter. Literally anybody with a speed aura leader. I mean, you need to have that to make sure your speed is as close to the enemies as possible. Obviously, if you miss the speed, if you miss that battle, you're going to be in a pretty bad situation, right? So definitely make sure the speed is in check. You also want to make sure that she doesn't keep reducing the speed of, reducing the turn meter of Skullcrown. I messed that up, my bad. But you do want to make sure all the speed tunes are in check and everything like that's good to go. But this team basically increase defense, Shieldguard's the nuker, build everything else the same around them, whatever it may be. Madame Sarah's a strip champion. Maybe you could use Deacon as the leader for the speed aura. Maybe throw in a Sathalia, maybe throw in a Kymar as a speed aura, just for that strip. There's a lot of different options you can use. The main thing I want to show you guys is basically what I've been finding big benefits in, okay? And that is building a nuke champion that requires different types of gearing, okay? So if you go over to my 3v3 stuff, and this is where it's really going to help you guys out, okay? But if you go to my 3v3 teams, I have a HP-based nuker with Magnar, I have a defense-based nuker with Solus, and then I have an attack-based nuker with Leoris. The nice thing is, none of these champions really share similar gear, right? I mean, Leoris is going to want attack percentage chest plates, attack percentage boots if I have them. Same thing with, well, opposite with Solus, he's going to want defense-based chest plate, defense-based boots if I could get it to work, which unfortunately I couldn't. Now, obviously, some of these pieces at the bottom, these gloves are going to be very similar. Some of the top row, depending on like the crit rate, crit damage rolls, but the defense, attack percentage, HP percentage is going to be different between all these champions, okay? Sometimes you may be farming Fire Knight and get some of those really good defense-based chest plates, but your Trunda, your Herndig just has no use for it. Well, still save that piece, right? That piece is still very good. You could even throw it on a Shieldguard. If I took this Solus gear and threw it into my Shieldguard, he would nuke perfectly fine. He would be a very viable nuker up until, of course, like once you get higher gold 4, like he's not going to be just blowing through these plat level teams probably, but possibly. Let's see. I'll keep going through some of these matches and testing it out. But I've been increasingly enjoying having those 3 different nuke options, okay? I would talk about HP nukers even more, but there's not a ton of HP based nukers. There's Magnar, there's Sir Nick. I don't know if there's very many past that. I'm definitely interested in knowing if so. There's not a ton of options. Defense based nukers, you have some options. You have champions who can give that nice buff in Tarshan, Doomscreech, and even Siphi. And Seeker, we'll talk about him more in just a second. But you have those other options, definitely a very viable strategy. And the other benefit this translates directly into is building your defense teams for 3v3, okay? Now mine are kind of just thrown in there, mostly just obnoxious, but if you're building a defensive type team, your first team, you could throw in a Seeker, okay? So Seeker is such a good defense champion. Honestly, probably one of my favorite defense champions. And if you're doing this thing that I'm talking about, building a defense-based nuker, you can go over here to your Shieldguard champion, wherever he may be, or your Solus, or your Syl of the Drakes, or your Drexstar, or your Vissix, whoever it may be. They actually get even more benefit because they have sustain abilities as well, or crowd control effects as well. Syl of the Drakes has her heals, she has the stun on her A2 ability, whereas Vissix has the decreased speed, decreased turn meter, I believe, plus a provoke. So they all have other utility past just doing decent damage. Drexstar has a provoke as well. Very, very solid options. But you could basically throw in a Seeker who, while he doesn't directly give increased defense as a buff, if you're doing this, you're probably planning to go second. Seeker gets hit with a critical hit, then he's going to place increased defense on all allies, okay? So it's going to reduce the damage they take. It's going to boost your defense-based nuker, and then you can have some other champions, like maybe you throw a Vogoth in here to help absorb some of that damage, okay? Just throw a Vogoth in the back, and then say maybe you want to have a champion who can strip the enemy, throw in a Madame Ceres. Now this team may not be a very good team, but it shows you the concept, okay? So basically you're going to get hit. It's a decent go second team. It's a decent team idea to add to your 3v3 arsenal, because 3v3 teams are difficult to build out for, right? If you can build a defense-based nuker, a defense-based champion who can deal damage, maybe even help sustain your team, they're obviously going to survive a lot better on your 3v3 team, and they're still going to be able to do some decent damage. You want to have some threat. Relying on people just not wanting to attack your defense isn't an amazing strategy. I know some people do that. They just build teams like, oh, this is a little different, okay? This is obnoxious, like Hegemon Warlord, Hegemon, like, I'm not gonna hit that, okay? That works out for him, okay? He has those legendary champions where he can just make people say, nah, screw that. There's so many other options. I'll just refresh and get some of these one-person defense teams, okay? So just keep that stuff in mind. But definitely, it's very much worth investing in, well, not even too much investing in Doomscreech per se, but investing in a defense-based nuker, especially if you have, well, specifically if you have Doomscreech, Tarshan. I'm not even going to mention Siphi because honestly, Siphi's not really that relevant because most people don't have her. She's a void legendary, difficult to get. Of course, I get that. Now, you can definitely use champions who just give increased defense and don't do any turn meter boosting. But if you're struggling with your speed tune of your team, having a champion who does more turn meter boost is always beneficial, okay? Instead of needing my Shieldguard to be 220 speed when I'm running at 316 speed, now my Shieldguard can chill at 190 speed, whatever it may be, and be perfectly fine, okay? So that is something you definitely want to keep in mind, definitely something you want to account for. Definitely make sure that your speed tune of your team is working out smoothly. I talked about that a little bit before. Just check out Deadwood Jedi's website, the arena calculator over there, and you'll get all the information you need. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, we're not even utilizing Shieldguard's, what is his ability from his A2, okay, his boost turn meter, I believe it is. Let's check that out. Now, the benefit of having Shieldguard built is if you threw him in lifesteal gear, then he's going to be a very solid champion for Minotaur farming, okay? Attacks all enemies, fills his champion's turn meter by 20% on each critical hit. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Okay, so each crit, he's actually getting turn meter fill. No wonder he's going again so quickly. Makes perfect sense. Obviously, he's running at 100% crit. I don't think I actually showed his stats, but this is what it, oh, I did. So he is running at 107% crit rate, okay? So a little bit above what I expected. That's not mentioning Seeker, like I mentioned earlier, the leader position, increased defense, aura in arena. So Seeker, such a good champion for Go Second teams. Hopefully this works out pretty good, but I'll just do a few of these. Obviously, my go-to is Siphi and Solus, but Shieldguard, very, very legit option. Let's see how fast he gets boosted up, okay? So he's gonna do this. He's got all those crits, and he's already about to go again. He cuts in front of Madame Saris. Pretty cool, okay? So definitely, I like that actually quite a bit. I'm actually thinking Shieldguard's an even better option than what I thought before making this video, okay? So he's pretty good. I don't know if he crit on Fushan or not, Fushan. He may not have crit because of the reaction gear the first time, but I mean, he doesn't keep cycling around to the A2 ability, the AoE hit, which is very nice. That's a big downside to like Solus, Drexstar maybe, but Solus, the big issue with him is the consistent, like keeping pressure on the enemies. Once he does his stuff, it feels so difficult to get back around to his hard-hitting A3 ability. It hits super hard, but if you don't one-shot, it kind of feels a little clunky sometimes. These people are actually in a pretty good range for my team because, as you can see, my team is 157,000 player power, so it's not like super high-end team by no means. Now, Shieldguard does have decent gear, right? He's going to have more stats than probably a lot of people who are just getting into Gold 4 are going to have, of course, but definitely something to work towards. And it will scale based on wherever you're at in the arena. That's something I want to share with you guys, the value of building a variety of different champions to use your different gear you get from Fire Knight, that you get from Dragon, wherever you're farming gear from. You want to have a champion, if possible, who can use that defense percentage pieces of gear for your arena nuking possibly, especially when it comes to 3v3. An attack-based nuker, I think everybody has one of those. And then these are some champions who can help add some benefit to those different options. Doomscreech, Tarshan, Siphi, and Seeker is very good on a Go Second team as a very solid option to give you that increased defense, allow your nuker to hit even harder once you actually take your turn. Now, we can't end this video on a loss. That's just ridiculous, okay? So let me go down here. Oh, Jingle Hunter, perfect scenario. If you guys don't know, I don't like Jingle Hunter that much. So we'll go ahead and finish it off with a win against a Jingle Hunter. I'll be pretty upset if we lose. Oh, crap. Madame Saris didn't strip. Oh, no. Do it. Boom. Okay. We're clearing them, okay? It's not a big deal. Not a problem whatsoever. If Shieldguard was in Savage gear, I bet he'd hit even harder, okay? But I want to throw some relatively achievable type of gear on him. I'll show you guys exactly what I have if you're interested in this. We'll take a look at him and his masteries, but the video is not so much about him, more so about the impact of having a champion like Doomscreech, so on and so forth, built and utilizing those champions for your account for 3v3, for different options in the arena, and just getting overall what you need. Okay, so he's not really built for arena. He's built for Minotaur farming, which is very, very good. You can use him for arena and you can use him for Minotaur farming. Honestly, Shieldguard is such a good champion to invest in, really wherever you are. I mean, especially if you're looking for a good Minotaur farmer. Granted, you probably need lifesteal gear if you're gonna do it consistently and do it well. But if you have the lifesteal gear, you're gonna be good to go. So guys, let me know what you think about the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new, gave you a new perspective. But either way, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.